Hello everyone and welcome to Brave Souls Rewind, the show where I 200 older characters so you don't have to. Today we'll be taking a look at Izuru, one of the very few characters in this game that has the ability to inflict slow on enemies, as well as one of the first characters with the boosted link. The question now is whether these two things are enough to make this character viable. Now I started off with the normal attack damage build. Out of Izuru's attack and SP, his attack is higher, if only by a little bit, and thanks to his long reach, a plus 20 bruiser, and a boosted 25 nat link, this is actually still a very viable build. It's able to take out the smaller enemies pretty easily, and it doesn't take much effort to take out some of the heavier ones. Plus under this build, even if you have him chappied, his strong attack too is still a vortex move that helps keep enemies in one spot while you take him out. He also has decent range and speed on his normal attack, so there's nothing to complain about in that end. For the most part, it's just a really good build that even if you're not up against Soul Reapers, could still deal a decent amount of damage. And it's a build I'm very excited to test out once he's resurrected. Next up we have the strong attack damage build, and I actually really like this Izuru's attacks. They all have really good range despite none of them being full screen, and they hit a pretty decent number of times. Izuru also has a plus 40 berserker, so they can actually deal a decent amount of damage. With that said, under this build you have to use your normal attack once you use up your strong attacks, and when there's no major attack increase or normal attack damage increase, they aren't quite as useful as they were in the last build. Don't get me wrong, the combination of normal attack and strong attack still get the job done, but it did feel that the only reason I was able to get it done as quickly as I did was because I was up against blue Soul Reapers. I don't think this build would have been as effective against anyone else. So I am gonna say it is a viable build, but only if you stack the odds in your favor. Next up we have the strong attack recharge build, and honestly this felt very similar to the last build. Sure, you get your strong attacks back quicker, and that is nice, it was actually quite a fun build. But they don't feel like they do nearly as much damage as the last build, because at this point we only have that plus 40 berserker. You also have to end up using a lackluster normal attack, though granted not that much because it is a strong attack recharge build. Overall, I did find it more enjoyable than the last build, but I did find the last build better than this one. Believe it or not, it actually felt faster because the enemies were going down in one strong attack instead of multiple. That said, it's still a viable build, but again, I really would only use this build if everything was stacked in your favor. Next up is the hybrid build, and honestly, I freaking love this build. It's my favorite out of all of them, and the damage you deal is great everywhere. Even though this build didn't have as many strong attack damage links as the second build, they still dealt a good amount of damage thanks to the increase in SP, and actually the increase in attack, since that also gets taken into consideration when calculating damage. And then there's of course his normal attack, which is the best part about this character. Under this build it's still very heavy, and you don't have to sacrifice your strong attack damage, which is nice. So yeah, this build is definitely viable, and in my opinion the best of the four. I'm actually really excited to see what this character looks like when he's resurrected. His attack will not only increase, but hopefully they'll give him a better bruiser, as it's a measly 20% now. And if they could throw in Debilitator, that'd be nice too.
Mairi-sama.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, why not check out some of the other rewinds? I believe I've done like 68 others, so who knows who you might find. And let me know what other characters you want to see a rewind on.